Hi friends, welcome back. Bienvenidos. This is part 3 of my 7-part series for first-time homebuyers. We've already talked about saving, debt, credit. In the previous video, we talked about the down payment. We're almost there, getting you ready to go start looking at properties. However, prior to that, we need a mortgage pre-approval. For all your returning viewers, thank you again for all your support, and for anyone that's new, my name is Carlos Pedrosanta, and on my channel we focus on mindset, real estate, and self-development. There are two very common questions that I get frequently asked, and that is, Carlos, do I even need a pre-approval to start looking for houses? And the second is, where do I even go to get a mortgage? Should I go with a bank or should I go with a mortgage broker? Those are two very good questions, and today you're getting the answer for them. I'm going to answer those questions and many more. First question, do I need a mortgage pre-approval in order to start looking for houses? Technically, you don't need a mortgage pre-approval to start looking for houses. However, there are realtors that will not work with you unless you do have that mortgage pre-approval. And why is this? This is for your assurance and your safety and your best interest. If you start looking for houses, if you start going shopping around, how do you even know what you can or cannot afford? Let's say you do find a house, something that you really like, you can envision yourself there, you say, this is the house for me. Now you have to go back and get a mortgage approval, and you may even come to the realization that you don't even qualify for that mortgage to obtain that house. So ideally, you should be getting a mortgage pre-approval just to avoid any hassles later or any disappointments. With home ownership, you want to pave the way from the beginning just so that there's not that many obstacles along the way. And if they do come along the way, then they're a lot easier to identify and tackle one obstacle instead of tackling it as a whole. So what is a pre-approval? A pre-approval is the amount that has been determined that you qualify for when you have your initial meeting with your mortgage, either specialist or broker. The mortgage pre-approval specifies terms and conditions, interest rate, and principal amount, amongst other things. These mortgage pre-approvals are usually good for 90 days. One thing that I suggest you do is that you ask your lender if they're able to extend past the 90 days and what the requirement would be. In case you were to take longer finding a house, you want to make sure that that pre-approval can be extended and it will still be in place should you find something that you love, but it has gone past the 90 days. The second, do I get a mortgage with the bank or with the mortgage broker? Now, there is its pros and cons to both of them. Ideally, what you want to think about is where you want to establish that relationship. When you are choosing which lender you're going to be with, is someone that you feel comfortable with and someone that you feel that you can ask questions and has your best interest. Now, there is different criteria for both type of lenders. Some lenders may require more, some lenders may require less things. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start reaching out to your preferred lender. Pick up that phone and start calling and making appointments. One thing that you're also able to do is that you can shop around. You can make an appointment to sit down with a mortgage specialist at the bank or with a mortgage agent. What's going to happen is that they're going to give you a list of things that you should be bringing to this appointment. If you're doing it individually, make sure you come with all your documentation. And if it's 2 of you, 3 of you, make sure that all of you are bringing all the documentation that is required, just so that you don't prolong or stall the application process. Now, what can you expect from this meeting? Amongst other things, they're going to look at 3 major components, which is your income, credit, and down payment. Income. Why are they looking at my income? They want to make sure that if you're individual, you're able to sustain a mortgage. They're going to want to ask to either see pay stubs, end of year statements. They'll also want to determine, are you full-time, part-time? Are you self-employed? No two home buyers are the same. So having this conversation with a professional is very important. They'll also look at your credit and liability. If you have line of credits and credit card debts that are maxed out, they want to see, can you carry on this next debt that you're going to tackle on? They'll also want to look at how well do you maintain this credit? Do you pay your bills on time? Do you max out your credit cards? Are you in high debt? Do you not have any debt? They want to see your habits in carrying debt. This is very important because imagine if you're getting a mortgage for $600,000-$700,000, will you even with your income be able to cover payment for that? The biggest question that you should ask with these lenders is ask them if they will pull your credit bureau. Now, why is this an important question? Anytime your credit bureau gets pulled, there's a certain type of inquiry that gets attached to it, either a hard or a soft pull. If you go back to part 1 of my series, I talk about credit there as well. So if you have amazing credit, then it may be fine for you to get a few hits on your credit bureau and it won't lower your score as much. However, if you're still building it, then I would suggest not getting those hits on your credit bureau because that's not going to make it any better. They're also going to look at your down payment. They're going to want to know how much down payment you have and what's the source of this down payment. Is it coming from an RSP, TFSA? Is it a gift from a family member? If so, then they will ask for additional documentation. And the final thing that I want you to remember is that a pre-approval is not an approval. A pre-approval is based on all the documentation that you've provided and the analysis that the lender has done on your personal financial situation. So please, my friend, during the time of your search, try to maintain your financial situation intact as much as possible. Do not go and start buying furniture on credit. Try not to forget paying your bills, because this could potentially harm you when it's time for you to get that actual approval. If your financial situation has changed quite a bit from when you got the pre-approval up until you find that house, there is a chance that you may even qualify for less than what you were originally quoted. Also keep in mind that in the approval stage of the mortgage, this is where your mortgage insurance is going to play a role. If you are putting less than 20%, lenders will require you to get that mortgage insurance. Once you have that house and you're ready, this is the house that I want, I'm ready, I want to go for it, I want to put an offer. Now you have to get your approval for that mortgage insurance. Make sure to hang in there and calm all those nerves. Things will be okay. All right, so now to recap everything that I've said, remember, ask as many questions as you possibly can. When you are in these meetings with these lenders, you can shop around for mortgages. Just make sure that you're constantly asking, how is it that they pull your credit bureau and how will that affect your rating? Remember, this is a big purchase. So even though a lender is giving you a max amount that you can borrow, you have to really see if that's going to fit in your life. You don't want to carry on extra debt if you're not going to be able to sustain it. Definitely sleep on it. You can definitely come back later. I know the excitement of buying a home, you just want to get it, but sometimes you have to realize that if it's really going to stress you out and make it more difficult for you to enjoy that house, it's better to get a second opinion and see where that mortgage will fit in with your life. Alrighty friends, well I hope that you got some good information out of this video, and remember to keep tuning in. Next week we're going on to part 4, where we're going to be talking about everything you need to know in order to choose a realtor. Remember, if you do have any more questions, leave some comments below. My contact information is also there. Reach out so we can work on your specific situation, y también recuerda que yo estoy aquí para poder ayudarte en inglés o en español si eso es lo que tú prefieres. Because remember, no two first-time home buyers are identical. So until then, I will see you in the next video.